The Landlord Compact has a long tradition in the Near West Side. We're probably one of the longest running landlord compacts in the city of Milwaukee, if not the state. And then also reporting on DNS, Department of Neighborhood Services, Department of Public Works, violations, and other quality of life issues. So we're going to get into Landlord Compact. Let's talk about Landlord Compact. Andrew, what is the Landlord Compact?
Well, the Landlord Compact meeting is a meeting between landlords and representative arms of the city and concerned residents and businesses. The Compact's mission is to address nuisance properties and nuisance behavior by the way of increasing the owners, the landlords, the standards by which that they operate their property.
Who's involved in the Landlord Compact?
Well, there's three pools of people in the compact meeting. So you have your landlords and property owners and management. Mm-hmm. You have the representative arms of the city, so the folks that are working together as a sort of coalition to address these concerns. So that would be us at the Near West Side Partners, MPD, Department of Neighborhood Services, Probation and Parole. And we have the chairs of the meeting, Kent Corey with Wiegand Enterprises, who's a great example of a good property manager that does things the right way. Lucas Security, since this obviously has a safety and security implications in the Near West Side. And then we have the concerned residents and businesses, so the folks that come to the meeting to raise their voice and raise their concerns about the types of activities that are going on that they would like to see changed.
Real quick, what's the takeaways with the Landlord Compact? What, if I'm new and I don't understand the Landlord Compact, what is the takeaway? Why is it important? If so, why is it important, and how do we continue to support it?
The Landlord Compact is critically important, especially when you have neighborhoods that have these types of challenges. If there isn't this type of forum to address them, then they won't get addressed, and they'll just continue to propagate and continue as the status quo. So the Landlord Compact meeting is more than just a meeting. It is an escalation. It has a kind of a tiered sense of how we reach out to landlords, what the next steps are, what it means to be a nuisance, to have a nuisance designation. It's a pathway to either negative consequences from Milwaukee Police Department and the Community Prosecution Unit and DNS, so properties can go into billing and then be charged on a regular basis. They can face these legal kind of elements if they don't submit a plan and change the way that they operate and with their level of investment and management style.
A couple of thoughts to that. One is that we get into how can people support the Landlord Compact in a minute. But you do a lot of support behind the scenes to make it happen. You have a pre-meeting with some of our important partners to discuss some of the top priority issues. You actually, from my understanding, you prioritize the properties. It can be as small as 10 properties and as large as 30 properties. You prioritize. We send out email notifications to inform people of the meeting. We send out Facebook posts for the meeting. We send out postcards for the meeting. You send out letters to property owners who have been identified as having a negative impact property.
Yes.
Am I missing anything else as far as your organization behind the Landlord Compact?
No, those are definitely the key elements of the outreach that we do as part of the compact meeting. But perhaps the most important component of the meeting is the agenda, which contains a nuisance property list. And yes, it's true that I've been working hard to kind of help develop a way to rank the properties, the multi-unit apartment buildings in the Near West Side. And the way that we've kind of figured out how to do that is, so we look at the history of calls for service and incidents, reports coming from the neighborhood. We add weight by the number of complaints and events and by the egregious nature of the event. So let's say a shooting or a strong arm robbery or sexual assault or those really top level incidents carry more weight than, let's say, a medical call for service or loitering or something that's a little bit that's less serious.
Well, help me out, Andrew. How can, if you're a landlord, if you or a police officer, if you are a person who lives in the community or concerned about the community, how can you support the landlord compact? What role can we play as people who want to see the neighborhood continue to go down the good path? How do we support the landlord compact?
Well, I mean, the first thing that needs to happen is there needs to be some kind of a report of the behavior. So if you see something that you don't like, that you think shouldn't be there, that you think should be changed, and if you think someone, let's say a property owner, isn't doing enough on their part to abate these types of nuisance behaviors, if nothing's said about it, nothing's going to get done. And so raising your concern, when you call the police, for example, there's a call for service. When you call us, we document it and we can escalate it and use the community prosecution unit.
I just want to say that number is 414-933-0640. Once again, if you have problems within the community, you need some help, assistance with these properties, our number, the NWSP Partners number, once again is 414-933-0640.
So yeah, just to wrap up, that point is staying vigilant and reporting things. And because again, if it's not reported, nothing will get done.
Is it okay for people who are interested to attend the landlord compact that they attend?
Well, typically, while we do like to have a good attendance at the landlord compact meeting, it's typically geared towards landlords. But that being said, if you have concerns in your neighborhood, you would like your voice to be heard, this is definitely a forum where exactly that happens. And the nice thing about the landlord compact is that every month, it's held on the second Thursday of every month at 1 p.m. at the Ambassador Inn on Wisconsin and 23rd. So the room is filled with a lot of people that have a lot of capacity to help. You have police there, you have DNS, you have the community prosecution unit, assistant district attorneys, you have us, you have security forces that are operating in the near west side. And so when you raise your concern, you know that it's falling on ears that know what to do with this type of information.
Anything else as we wrap up our discussion about the landlord compact that you would add? I will say, before you jump in, I will say the landlord compact covers the entire near west side. We call it the near west side landlord compact because that includes Avenues West, Cold Spring Park, Historic Concordia, Merrill Park, Martin Drive, Miller Valley, and Pigsville. So you have concerns about properties within those neighborhoods, we encourage you to email, call, and reach out to us. We will do some of the groundwork of reaching out to the landlord. We will do some of the groundwork of working with our partners, the community prosecution unit, and the Milwaukee Police Department. Anything else I missed?
Aside from multi-unit properties, we also include a list for businesses, and so it operates in a very similar way that we track the history of calls for service and nuisance reports, and we escalate things in similar ways, reaching out to the community prosecution